what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this video, it's just kind of an on the spot, spur of the moment type of video, so sorry about the glasses clouding up my face with the weird lighting in this room. Anyway, I get a lot of people asking me about the Halo books, and I've read all of them other than the last couple because I haven't had time yet. But they ask me, are they good, and which ones am I supposed to read, where, which one falls where. So this is going to be a video all about the Halo books. So if you're looking forward to Halo stuff, this is the one for you. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is a book that doesn't really fall in line with any of the other books. This one right here, Halo Evolutions. This is it's a whole bunch of short stories, really. There's a whole bunch of different stuff in this book, and they fall all throughout the entire Halo timeline. Some stuff in the future, some stuff in the past, as far as game current stuff. So there's just a whole bunch of things in there. So this one is the one that you do not need if you're going to read the rest of the other ones, because they're mostly one continuous story for the most part. So this one, I do recommend it. It's a good book. There's a lot of good reads in here. But this one is like it's a bunch of short ones, so it's not entirely essential, even though it says that right there. So it's good, but it's kind of, you don't need it as much. Okay, so the first thing, chronologically speaking, is the Forerunner Trilogy from Greg Bear. And the order for those is Cryptum, Primordium, and then finally Silentium. And these are books that some people don't care for. They think they're a little bit too wordy and a little bit too fantastical and confusing, and those things aren't necessarily wrong. Those do describe these books. I personally still love them. I thought they were great, and it's definitely a really good look inside the Forerunner culture and everything that happened leading up to everything that's happening now. And these tie in really, really, really well. They're almost essential reads for Halo 4 and presumably Halo 5. And these also tie into another set of books which happened concurrently. So these are super in the past, 100,000 years ago, before the first Halo event. And then they tie into the current stuff. So we'll talk about that in a minute too. So these are the Forerunner Trilogy from Greg Bear. I really like them. Some people didn't. But if you want to read about Halo that is kind of heavy in the science fiction logic and all that kind of stuff, and not so much in the combat, this is a really good chunk of books for you. Now we can move on to the somewhat current time. We have these two, which are not also entirely altogether necessary. We have Contact Harvest and the Cole Protocol. This one happens first, this one happens second. Chronologically speaking, they do technically tie into other things, and I think it's been so long since I read these now. Maybe Harvest, where you get a little bit of an insight into the how the Forerunner started the whole, not the Forerunner, the Covenant. The Prophets started the whole Covenant thing and how it's all a big ruse and that kind of stuff. One of these two. These are both really good. Not so much about Spartans, but still really interesting. This one focuses on Johnson a lot, so if you like Johnson, that's a good one. And if you like Johnson, well, that's all up to you anyway. This does have some Spartans in it, but not quite as Spartan heavy. So these are good. Not necessary, though, if you want to read the others. They're just, they do provide some background, and they're from Joseph Staten and Tobias Buckle. All right, next we have, now this whole chunk right here, starting from my right, which is right here, go into one giant story. This is the core of the book series that I suggest every Halo fan reads. I know it's a lot of reading, and it will take a long time, but it is hugely beneficial if you are a fan of the fiction in any way. So the first book we have, I'm going to try to hold these all at the same time, is The Fall of Reach from Eric Nyland. Easily one of my favorite books. Unfortunately, with the Halo 5 special editions and things like that, you're going to be able to watch the graphic version of this book, which is so much better than the Halo Reach game. Unfortunately, the game was fun. Story-wise, this blows it out of the water. This is, and it's canonically tied into everything that's happening now. It's kind of, they've said at times both are canon, but this one is what actually matches up for the most part. So read The Fall of Reach. It focuses on, obviously, Reach and the development of the Spartan program and Blue Team, and there's some really good stuff in there. So absolutely read Reach. It's one of the most popular books out of the franchise. Next up, we have The Flood. This is in line with Halo 1. It actually happens concurrently with the Halo 1 game. This is from William Dietz. And you're going to think, oh, I don't need to read a book, it's all about the game. It only is kind of about the game. This is kind of like everything that's happening on around Master Chief during the whole Halo 1 campaign. So you're going to get a lot from from Keyes. Hey, Locke and Key, that's interesting. I wonder if they did that on purpose. Anyway, from Captain Keyes, and some stuff with Master Chief, and it's just really interesting with the Flood and the Covenant and the whole Halo 1 campaign. So this is really good, actually. I thought at first I wasn't going to want to read it since it is about the first game. None of the other ones actually tie into the games. So this one worried me a little bit, but it's really good read, especially if you like more Master Chief stuff. And like I said, these all do go, every one of these flows right into the other. You can get them in the hardback, by the way. Also, I just prefer the softback because I find them easier to handle while I'm reading. Okay, next we have First Strike, which I hope I'm not getting these out of order. Not out of order, but I'm confusing them in my head because I've read so many. This, I believe, is the one that happens right after Halo 1 that explains how Master Chief gets back and everything that happens between Halo 1 and Halo 2. So this is an essential read. Definitely, just if you're only playing the games, this is just a nice backup, more information type of thing. And if you're going to read them all, then they're all essential, so I guess I can stop saying that, but it's up to you. Now, Ghosts of Onyx really is a departure from the campaign. This is really interesting. It's kind of like a mystery slash suspense and then action and all that good stuff. So this has some of the Spartan 3s in it, and we end up with some Forerunner stuff. So this is kind of like a little bit of everything from Halo all into one story. Really, really good. Talks about AIs a lot. And then this is pretty much the start of the whole Forerunner stuff as far as current time goes. So I don't want to talk about what it's about too much because I don't want to spoil the fun of it. But Ghost of Onyx, really, really important to the current storyline, so that's pretty good. Next we have Glasslands, which is directly following Ghost of Onyx. These just run right through, so starting with, technically I guess First Strike, well, even with Reach, they go straight through, but this one, these last three right here, are a trilogy again, kind of like the Greg Bear trilogy. So these are all from Karen Travis. And again, just like the Greg Bear bunch, some people really don't like this set because it's such a different style than some of the others. I personally really liked it. And when I said this one was meant, these were released concurrently, this is what I was talking about, this bunch and this bunch. So we're going all the way back with the Forerunner stuff, and then this is leading up to Halo 4. And these were released strategically so that things they're talking about in this batch lined up with stuff they're talking about in this batch a little bit. And there are some pretty special reveals and things like that in these books. Anyway, so this bunch kind of follows a team of ODSTs and a Spartan, and it's all Oni based, so there's a lot of spy stuff. So if you like spy things, and a little bit of politicking, but not so much. And there's a lot of combat too, and it's just a really interesting read because it does include Spartans and ODSTs. The ODSTs in this book and the Spartan, very cool characters. And this talks about the people in charge at Oni and how, well, shoot, I can't talk about that because I don't want to spoil anything, but Glasslands, and then we have Thursday War and Mortal Dictata, or however you want to pronounce that. So these, one giant story right here, and they lead up to Halo 4, not directly, but there's kind of like a gap in between. But if you like the Hunt the Truth stuff, these will also work nicely for you because there's a lot of Cloak and Dagger type stuff in there. So that's the order of the books. I have them all lined up. Let me see if I can get them all in my hands at once. This is the main bunch of books. I know there's a couple more I need to talk about, and I will in just a second. I think I messed up this ordering. Moving these around messed me up, and I don't remember between these two. But this is the main bunch, which you need to read all in order for the most part. Again, I could have screwed these two up right here, but it's not entirely important. Okay, so now there's three other books I have to talk about, and then we'll be done. A lot of Halo books going on, and there's more coming. There's also comics, so if you guys aren't familiar, check out the comics. the current run of comics is literally going from Halo 4 to Halo 5. So there's a whole lot of important stuff in there. I'm not including that in this video though. Okay, so the current batch of books. We have Broken Circle from John Shirley. This is mostly about Covenant stuff. I believe a long time ago. I haven't finished reading it. I've only just started it, so I'm not entirely sure that it ties directly into what we have going on right now. But this is Covenant and Forerunner based. So, like I said, I haven't read it yet. It's kind of a lengthy read to not be about the UNSC at all. At least I think it's not about it at all. So I have to figure out where that goes. But I'm pretty sure this chronologically goes way back. Then we have Hunters in the Dark, which is so far, not that far into it, but so far a fantastic read. If you want to talk about the Ark and some new Spartans like Vale and some elites, and it's just actually the two elites from Halo 3 when you play as 4-player co-op. So you have Master Chief and the Arbiter and the other two elites, which I can't remember, Entho and whatever the other one's name is. They're in this book. So it's kind of a nice throwback or callback to that. But this is all about going through the portal at Voy. Is it Voy? New Mombasa, whatever. And going to the Ark. And it introduces some of the new Spartans from Halo 5. So far, really, really interesting read. Very good. Definitely recommend that. And then this one, like I said, I just started it, so I can't say for sure how far back it goes. I don't remember. 2553. So that's like right after Halo 1. Yeah. But this is all about Fred. I mentioned this a little bit in my video the other day. So this is going to introduce you to Fred. It looks like at least one other Spartan. And I can't say much more than that since I really just started it. But if you're into Blue Team, this should be a good one for you. And as an added bonus, see that right there? You get some Rec Pack. So that's kind of awesome. So again, I'm not 100% sure where this goes, but according to the date, 2553, unless I'm losing my mind, is right after Halo 1. So this is kind of explaining some Blue Team stuff that's happening while Master Chief is doing his thing. Alright, so those are the 3 new books. I'm not entirely sure where they go, but that's it. So that's all the books as of right now. So far, all the ones I've read, which is everything except for those new 3. Very, very good. I guess that's it. So that's the order. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm a huge Halo lore buff fan. I love this stuff, and I like reading sci-fi books. I love reading when it's something I care about, and this is it. So if you like sci-fi or Halo, these are great for both of those things. There it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see my upcoming figure reviews, custom figures, book stuff, gaming stuff, all this other stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.